friends, welcome back to my channel. Today, my favorite video, well, I don't know my favorite video, one of my favorite videos that I do every year around this time of year is my favorite books of the previous year. So I've done this for a couple years now, and I honestly wasn't going to do it this year. Breaking traditions, you know, I'm not doing my Christmas haul video this year, so I thought maybe I won't do this video too. But then I was thinking about it, and they're really fun to look back on. So here we are, we're going to do this. These are my favorite books from 2017. Let's first of all preface the fact that I am sick, so if I sound congested, that's what it is. Now the garbage truck is here. Great timing. Alright, so I want to first start off by mentioning a book that I'm currently reading. I do this every year because I started it in 2017. I'm going to finish it in 2018, but I want to mention it now because this is kind of a classic novel, and so I just want to mention it. It is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I have been reading this book, seriously enjoying it, very disturbed by it though, and it's hitting a little too close for home with recent events. So I highly recommend this. The reason I really wanted to read this, and I mean, it's one of those books that I was like, I haven't read that yet, that's so weird. I should have read that like 5 years ago, but in a lot of my gender studies or sexuality classes that we talk about Margaret Atwood a lot, and so I thought, educate yourself, you know what I'm saying? Love Margaret Atwood. Maybe this will be my new addiction for 2018. Every year I get like sucked into some sort of vortex of like obsessing over a certain type of book. 2017 was sort of like me being difficult. 2016 was very much like the beginning of the year was very much self-help books. End of the year was like fantasy overload. My fridge is broken. Please excuse. Just to recap, 2017 wasn't the best year for books for me. I read The Nest, which is by Cynthia Dupree Sweeney. It was okay. It's a nice cover. She probably, I don't know. It's an okay book. Would I recommend it? If you want something light, like this is a good book to read on the beach when you don't want to actually have any real serious thoughts and you don't really want to have any serious concerns. If you don't want a book that's going to stress you out, this is a great option. You kind of just get through it and you're like, oh, okay, cool. That's what I remember from this book. This is another book that I wanted to mention because I read this year and I thought it would be something different from what I normally talk about. This is called Creatures of a Day and Other Tales of Psychotherapy by Irvin D. Yalom. Now, that probably wasn't pronounced right. Basically, he is a therapist and these are tales of his sessions. I'm a psychology student. This is my last semester. I'm not wanting to be a therapist by any means, but I do find therapy fascinating, and his stories are very well written and very interesting to read. I would recommend this if you are interested in therapy, if you have even an inkling of interest in it. Definitely read this book. The end of 2016, beginning of 2017, I was still in my Brandon Sanderson phase. Great author. I love fantasy, as you guys know. So if you want to check out my reviews on those books from last year, definitely do. The end of this past year, or the beginning of this past year, I was still reading the Mistborn series. I finished the third one in the trilogy and it was amazing. Also should mention that the last, I would say, really pretty much over the whole summer, I read Game of Thrones. I reread the whole series except for the last or like most recent book, and the only reason, you can literally see it, it's right there. The only reason I didn't is because I was commuting to school every day and I could not get myself, call me crazy, to commute with a book that looks like that. It's literally, it's the same weight as me. Like I just couldn't. It's too heavy. Putting it in my backpack, it like takes up the whole space. So that is literally the only reason I didn't read it. But all the other ones, I read those as well. I loved the last season of Game of Thrones, the TV show. It was so good that I was like, how am I supposed to live now for, at the time I thought, another year till the TV show comes out again, or till whenever he decides to finally release the book. I felt like I needed more Game of Thrones in my life, specifically Jon Snow, who I think will forever be my favorite crush from a book. He's my favorite. Found out recently that the new season of the series is not going to be airing until 2019. Pretty much feeling like 2018, like what's good? You know what I mean? Like what are we living for? That is completely cold. All right, all right. I also really decided to read something actually kind of meaningful, and I read The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur. I also have her other book, Milk and Honey. She does poetry, and if you follow me at all on Instagram, you know I love her stuff. Like, I love her work. Some people say poetry is cheesy. That's totally fair. Like, if you want to believe that. I do find some of it like unrelatable, and maybe in that way I'm like, oh, I can't really relate to that. I don't know how to feel about it, but I never find it cheesy. I always find it like in some way or another like beautiful or whatever. So I highly recommend. Last book I want to mention that I have positive things to say about, because my last 2 books I'm saving for disappointment of the year. 2 disappointing books. Anyways, this is not a disappointing book. This is an amazing book. This is A Little Life. I think I've talked about this already in like a favorites video or in some other video I talked about it. This book really was, not gonna lie, traumatic to read. But beautiful. If you are someone who has any experience or any at all connection to mental health, meaning you have someone in your life who has struggled with their mental health, you yourself struggle with mental health, you're interested in mental health, this is something that you could benefit from reading. It is a heartbreaking story, absolutely heartbreaking. It will break your very soul alive, and I will actually say to you right now that if you are in a fragile state or if you're under the age of like 18, maybe don't read this, because it's very mature and very devastating. But the reason I'm recommending it to you guys is because this is real life for some people. I don't want to say too much, but I will say right now, it's a story of friendship, about loss, about love, about sexuality, about mental health. Every time I opened this book, I was scared for what I was going to read, which obviously, I don't know, is that a good thing? I'm not sure. But it elicited such a strong reaction out of me. Yeah, anyways, I don't know. Definitely check this out, but beware of what I have already shared with you. 2 books that I want to talk about briefly. One of them that I really did not like was the Amy Schumer book, The Girl with the Lower Back Tattoo. I already talked about this also on my channel. That book was, I don't know, offensive almost. Like, it was just bad. It was really bad. I expected way more from her, especially after reading like other like celebrity novels. And I honestly, like, with someone like Amy Schumer, I mean, I'm pretty sure she writes, like, she's a comedian, right? So she must write her own stuff. But I also watched her thing on Netflix, like the girl with the leather pants. Was it leather pants? I don't know, some like stand-up she did. And it wasn't funny either, but I really did not like it, and I would not recommend it. The other book I was a little bit disappointed by is The Sympathizer. I'm pretty sure this book won like the Man Booker Prize or something, and that's why I chose it. If you want to follow me and what the books I'm reading, check out my GoodReads account. I always have it linked down below, but if it doesn't for whatever reason, go to my account. My name is the same as it is on YouTube, Emilie Joy, with 1 E instead of 2 E's like on Instagram. It won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction. I liked it. I just found it a bit drawn out, and I find that a lot of the times with like books that win big awards and stuff, either I really love them or I just don't get it. A Little Life won the National Book Award. I don't necessarily just read books to like relax and like not to think. I do like to read something that like provokes thoughts and provokes me, like my mind, to a certain extent. Obviously I don't want to be like going crazy because I read before I go to bed, and then what am I gonna do, just like stay up all night thinking about a book? There are certain awards I find that I don't like the books that win those awards as much, so I think that's sort of just my own takeaway. Let me know if you guys have read that book. It is a good book, don't get me wrong, and very interesting, but I think I was a little bit disappointed by it. That's all the books I want to talk about in this video. My 2017 favorite books of the year. I will link all the other videos I've done in this series. So my favorite books of 2016, my favorite books of 2015. I don't know how many years I've been doing this now, but you will see in the description box how many years it's been. And go check out my previous videos if you want more book recommendations. And as always, if you have a recommendation for me, please let me know down below. I hate saying this because I hear other people on YouTube say this and it annoys me and I never even listen to them. But please turn on the notifications for these videos, because here's why. YouTube has changed a lot over the last, I would say, 2 years. It's been changing a lot. And I have been getting a lot of comments and a lot of messages from people on my Instagram, on YouTube, being like, I don't see your videos anymore in my subscription box. One, I don't upload as much as I used to. Two, sometimes when you don't have that notification bell on, you don't get notified if someone uploads a new video, which is absolutely ridiculous and so annoying. But I promise you, it's not super annoying to get notifications from a YouTube video. It's not super annoying. Do it if you like my videos, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if you do it or not. I just can tell you right now that it is good for you if you like my videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all so enjoyed this video. Hope you're having a great January so far. Great New Year. I don't know, are you? And I will see you all very soon. Bye.